How's it going, everybody? It is Dennis, and we're back with another video talking about Tesla, the Yield Max Tesla Option Income Strategy ETF. So today we're going to be talking about Tesla not because of his high distribution, which if you guys do or do not know, Tesla did end up paying us a high amount of dividends this month for April, and that was 65.98, as you guys can see right here, being paid out from Tesla. That's 101.76% return on an investment if you bought, of course, for the price of Tesla when this distribution was announced. So if you bought at that price, you'll be getting 101.76% return. Of course, if you have a higher average cost, that return will be much, much lower. And of course, the return on capital right here was 96.85%. So that is what we've received from Tesla, but this is not what this video is about. This video is going to be going over the basics of Tesla, and because this was their first ever ETF that they launched, how does this translate through every single other Yield Max ETF, and how can we look at Tesla as an example of a high volatility ETF, high paying ETF, and how it's been heading down and down and down, and how it's been performing for myself because I've been holding this for quite a time. And the video I did last year on my 1 year of investing in Tesla and Yield Max ETFs will be coming out in June for the 2-year mark. That will be coming out in June. This video is just going over Tesla as an ETF, not my own performance and how I feel about it when it comes to my performance. This is just going over this ETF, how it's performed compared to the market, how other ETFs compare in the Yield Max funds can perform like Tesla and end up like Tesla if and or the market continues to trend the way it is, or if the single stock ETFs that they trade on trade like Tesla has. So going over, of course, the charts, we're going to be looking at the 1 year charts because if you look at the 3 years, it doesn't really add up well because, of course, Tesla did start before Tesla, and the same thing with other charts that we'll be looking at. So we'll be looking at the 1 year, even though that does help Tesla a little bit, but we're just going to continue looking at Tesla in the 1 year because it's just a better chart to look at. It's easier, it's simplified, and that's what we're going to be looking at. So looking from Tesla compared to Tesla, Tesla in the 1 year has performed 55.27% return, and Tesla has performed at 17.76% return. You might be asking, why is it positive for Tesla if on the charts is it a negative? That is because the metrics we are looking at are total return, so this is with dividends included in it. So with dividends included, you're at 17.76% return on Tesla. With Tesla, you're at 55.27%. So you are profitable with Tesla on the 1 year at 17.76%, but you are lower than Tesla at 55.27%. So it could be said that you could have had 100 shares invested into Tesla. You could have traded your own covered call strategy on Tesla and therefore earned income on a weekly, monthly basis, and as well as gained your 55.27% compared to Tesla, where you have no control on the covered calls and you only gain 17.76%. But also could be said that due to Tesla's fluctuations, as we can see on the charts, there's moments where they jump very high in stock price in Tesla, and that's why it has such a high volatility and high premium. It could be said that there will be moments where your position would be called away if you're running a covered call strategy. So this 55.27% might not be too accurate with your actual return if you're running a covered call strategy on Tesla, unless you're running a very safe covered call strategy way out of the money at 90% profitability rate. At that point, your premiums are probably not that great, so that 55.27% wouldn't change much from what it is. It'd probably be boosted like by 5-10% max if we're talking about really safe covered calls on Tesla. Now, if we take a look at when it comes to the overall market, once again, we're looking at the 1 year, and of course, S&P 500 has been hit hard this year due to, of course, the tariffs and all that fun stuff. But looking at that, we can see that Tesla is at 17.76%, as we saw before, and SPY is at 5.72%. That is because, of course, SPY has dipped recently due to the tariff news, but Tesla has dipped as well, but it has recovered as well because, of course, it trades on single stock ETF Tesla, and that has higher volatility and is able to rebound faster. Also, with Tesla's new strategy that was implemented, I think, roughly a year ago, they're able to capture more of the upside. It seems like they've been getting better at that because when I've been tracking their upside movements with Tesla compared to Tesla, they've been able to capture the upside movement by plus or minus 1%. So they've been doing really well on that front. Of course, they're still getting hammered on the lower side. They're still getting hammered on when it comes to their covered calls because, of course, you're still limited, even with that new strategy they've implemented of being able to capture some of the upside. So there's not much they could do on that front. That's just how these funds work. It's going to be very hard for them to recover their original values because of course it takes time for them to capture up. And if a stock like Tesla is moving up and down, it's very, very hard for them to capture it. Even ETFs looking at QDTE and XDT have been suffering from NAV erosion and inability to capture the upside because they're not able to capture it, because most of the time they can capture that upside is during the night movement. So during the trading hours, when the trading hours are closed, during those times is when they're actually able to capture movements. And of course, those are when the movements are the best when it comes to S&P and QQQ. But of course, you want some of that daily movements as well, because with the market news that we've been having, say they could have captured the news when we had the delays in tariffs, and they're unable to capture that because the covered calls will be in the negatives. I don't have to go ahead and buy back the covered calls for a loss. But that's just, general option talk. Tesla in itself, of course, on paper has performed better than S&P 500, 17.76% to 5.72%. And of course, this is with dividends included into this calculations. And if we take a look at the chart, we can see that Tesla is down 47.89%. This is, of course, with after market trading hours. And that is at negative $6.82. So we've lost $6.82 of value in the past year from Tesla. But how did we receive that 17.76% return? Well, if we take a look at dividend history for Tesla, we have received $10.09 from Tesla. $10.09 from Tesla. Of course, this is not counting in the April dividend that we just received. That's not being calculated into this average. If we calculated the April dividend, this would be around the high $9 mark, around the $9.90 mark. Because if we take a look at May, which is a 12-month on this average, it's $69.42. While now we received, I'm pretty sure, is 65, right? 65.98. So it'll be down roughly 5 cents. So this return would be $9.90. Not even. It'll be $10.02 ish. Or I'm not doing my math right, aren't I? It's $10.04. That's the correct math for it. So it'll be a $10.04 for the annual dividend from Tesla. So that's how we're able to have that 17.76% return on the 1 year. Of course, if we take a look at all time for Tesla, it's down quite a lot. 81.51% on the 5-year chart or the max chart. 81.55% or $32.70. Yes, someone could do the math and calculate how much that is. And actually, I think we could go ahead and take a look at that. If we go ahead and delete Tesla, and we go ahead and put it to the 3-year, that is down 6.97%. I don't know if that's accurate completely. It might or might not be. But yes, you're down negative 6.97% with dividends included. So you would be down negative on it. But that's assuming that you're not using your cash for any other positions, such as reinvesting back into Tesla or going and investing into other funds that might have better return on the upsides and all that sorts. Now, if you're an investor looking at Tesla and you see a chart like this, you might be discouraged of investing. And I would also not encourage a lot of people to go into Tesla, because Tesla is a high volatile ETF. And if you are looking to invest into Tesla, then you have to believe in the idea of paying back your initial investment and then having that money coming in after that being free money. A lot of people don't believe in that. I personally have mixed feelings on it. I do believe that it is possible to have, and I'm pretty sure I've coming close to achieving that. I haven't been tracking my dividends since purchasing this ETF back in 2023. I haven't been tracking it since then. So I can't tell you exact numbers of how much I have invested out of my own cash value into Tesla. But I could pretty much make an assumption that based on what I've received so far, so we could go ahead and take a look at that. I received $4,305.10 in the year of 2024. And then I received so far $1,082.13 for 2025. I could assume that if we continue to receive around the $200 mark of dividends, of course, it's going to continue to erode and erode. Of course, I am investing a little bit more money into it over and over. Also, I don't know why this is coming at 415. This number is incorrect, I'm pretty sure. We're going to go ahead and change that really quick. But based on that, let's go ahead and change it. Yeah, it's 475. Not sure why that's coming at 415. We got to change that to 475. There we go. That's a lot cleaner. 475.7143. Just a little hiccup in the video. That's correct now. So 475.7143. Actually, it's $1,121. We're going to be receiving $313.88 this month. So that's the correct number. Not sure why it was set to 415, but that is the correct number. And we're receiving $1,121.71 so far for 2025 and $4,305 for 2024. Add those both up, you get a total of around $5,500. I can make the assumption that I don't have that amount of cash invested initially in Tesla. How do I know that? Because that's not how much I cash. I have so many different positions. There's no possible way I've put that much money just into Tesla, because I have positions I used to have positions in SCHD, DGRW. DGRW in itself was around a $4,000 position. And if Tesla was 10% of my portfolio, that means that I would have around, like, what is that? And say it was more than $5,000. Let's say it was $5,000, right? 10% of $5,000, there'll be roughly what? 10 would be 20%, right? And then we go ahead and do it times 5. That'd be roughly like a $50,000 portfolio, if I'm correct. No, it would be more. My math's off, but you understand what I'm saying. My portfolio value does not add up to what the value of my Tesla ETFs are, or the initial value. So it wouldn't be $5,000 initially invested with cash. So I could be sure with my assumption that I have surpassed. Even at this point, we don't even have to wait till June to understand. I'm pretty sure at June we'll 100% have surpassed my initial investment on Tesla. But I could assume that I've surpassed my initial investment on Tesla. With that, we've also haven't been investing all of the money back in. If we take a look at our history with Tesla, we could see that we received a dividend of $217.85 for March. With that, we invested $49.26 back in to buy 6 shares. If we take a look back in February, we received $267.18. In February 19, we bought $98.77 worth of Tesla. Then we received January 24, $322.80. We bought $148. So most of the time, it's either 50% or lower being reinvested back into Tesla of Tesla's dividend. So with that 50% being invested back into Tesla, and even at some point right here at 557, we put 265 in, 508, we put 241 in. We have a 117 at 243, 216 at 426, right? So we were investing 50% back into it roughly. I'm pretty sure there was a time where we weren't reinvesting back in at all. No, we've been reinvesting consistently back into it. So we've consistently been reinvesting back 50% of Tesla's dividend back into Tesla. And with that, we've been able to accomplish a steady growth of shares and also a steady amount of dividends coming in. So we were able to hold off 50% of our dividends. So 50% of what we earn. So say right now we're going to earn to $313. 50% that, or $150 worth of roughly, could be held off in cash, and $150 will be put back into Tesla. With that strategy that we're currently running, I'm able to save some money up on the side. That money I could put into other items such as SPYI, JEPQ, anything that has some growth potential. Even the S&P 500 on the long term, right? We have an average 8% return on S&P 500. So while Tesla is going down little by little, I could keep my dividends steady. So even the dividends distribution going down, the dividends stay steady. With the dividend staying steady, I continue to get a steady amount of income coming in. That steady income gets split by 50%. That goes into, say, the S&P 500. S&P 500 goes up 8% on average on a yearly basis, and your Tesla dividend ETF will go down and down. But then the S&P will go ahead and, eat up that negative loss on erosion on your Tesla position. So in a sense, even though I know a lot of people don't believe it, that it's free money, there's no such thing as free money in the market, and I agree there isn't. But they're not creating free money. They're obviously creating income using the strategy they use. So they have covered calls, they're earning income, and of course they have synthetics and everything of that sorts. But obviously they're earning income. Obviously it's working. They have, I'm pretty sure, around like $900 million invested in this fund. We take a look at it. It should be around here. $897 million invested into it. I think at one point it was at $1 billion. But Misty took a lot of its assets away into Misty, but it's around $900 million almost invested into Tesla. They're continuing to go down, of course, in erosion, but they are earning income. It's not like they're lying to you that they're not earning income. They are, and you can say that it's a return on capital. But as you can see in my own personal experience, after 2 years, I am getting close to being receiving my initial investment back. Of course, technically, it's not my initial investment back. It's only my distribution that I've received back in value. Since I've been reinvesting 50% back in, you could say that I've only received 50% of my initial investment back. And yes, that is true. It's only 50% technically, but if we just move that out to 4-year timeline, that means in 4 years, I'll have all my money back. And that's not assuming the position that I'm using the 50% that they're giving me, investing into other positions, and that's earning me an income as well, or a growth as well, right? As you guys may or may not know, I run the Poor Man Covered Call strategy, and the Tesla dividends feed into that call strategy, which allow me to earn a higher income as well as gains on S&P movements on the upside. So this video is just, I know this video is bouncing on a lot of places, going over Tesla versus Tesla and S&P versus Tesla and the Tesla dividends and everything of that sort. But this video is just to talk about the basics of Tesla and go ahead and take a look at Tesla since it's the very first ETF and use this for every single other single stock ETFs that YieldMax has. It's just like a baseline, right? Tesla is like the worst case scenario. Well, not really. Like, you have high volatility and high income. There's other ETFs that they have, like AMZ, Apple, which have been performing great. If we could take a look at them really quick, like AMZ, we have a $2,000 and $586, and the value loss on it is very minimal. Apple, similar things, $798 and $389, right? And the value loss on them is very minimal compared to what the dividends are. So it is possible to have a higher profitability on these funds while taking money out as well. As you can see, we've been holding 316 shares for the past, 4 months on AMZ, and we've still been earning 126, 173, 132, 154. Dividends staying consistent, shares staying consistent, no need for reinvestment. All this money comes out, goes into other things that earn you more income or higher growth, right? So it's possible to do so. Tesla's worst case scenario, so that's why we're looking at Tesla. It's also one of the longest term funds I've held from YieldMax ETF. And it's just a video to show that it is possible to get free money. People might say that it's not true, it's not possible, but I denied that case. Of course, there's no such thing as free money. I am suffering from NAV erosion. If you guys could take a look at my thing, I'm down $6,612 or 65.20%. So I am down on it, as you can see. And of course, you could say that technically some of that 6,612 is the money that I've reinvested back into it, right? If I earn 5,500 from it and I go ahead and put half of that into here with the 50% reinvestment, you could say that that's what's down. But like I said, open up your timeline a little bit, extend your timeline to 4-year horizon, 5-year horizon, 10-year horizon. I could see these funds being viable for the long term, as long as their underlying stays alive, as long as the company stays alive, to be an income generator, to go ahead and put into other funds. And over time, there will be profitability. There will be times of no profitability, and there'll be times of profitability. So that's just my take on YieldMax ETF. That's just my take on Tesla as an example. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you guys in the next video for Friday. See ya.